Hello, Omrania teachers of NTTP program, National Teacher Training Program for the second year. This is a record of our session on Zoom on 22nd of October 2020. Due to some technical problems, I had to re-record it again to be available for you online to review and benefit from it. This year we are taking our sessions online. Last year we had taken it face to face, and congratulations on your certificate. This program is a kind of cooperation and partnership between the British Council and the Ministry of Education in Egypt. This year we will take 12 sessions or training online. We will have two sessions each month. That was the first session on 22nd of October. The attendance or participants in this session was, as you see. So let's start our session today. This is a book which I have already sent you a copy. This book will be the main book which you will follow the steps on during our session during this year. The book entitled A National Teacher Training Program NTTP Egypt Year 2. The main aim of this course this year is extend, embed, and enhance. This teacher's reflective journal will be available for you to take part in the tasks on which you will follow and answer on Google Classroom, as you will know after a while. Here is the book and here is the workshops. We will have 6 workshops in 2 parts. The first part will be a kind of explaining the wanted or outcomes I would like to deliver to you, and the second session during the month will be a kind of application on what you have already learned. This will be a kind of micro teaching. I will receive your micro teaching, and your friends and colleagues will give you a kind of feedback to benefit from each other and to do and apply new innovative activities within our schools to benefit our students. Right, let's start. At first, what we would like to emphasize on what learning and development will teacher receive during this course. NTTP Year 2 will explore 4 teaching topics. So we'll concentrate on 4 topics and develop 4 key teacher behaviors. What are the topics teacher will benefit and use throughout this year? 21st century skills. So we'll learn more about what are the 21st century skills, and this session will be mainly on these skills. Second, lesson planning in a CLIL context. Third, digital technologies for the classroom. Fourth, speaking skills and pronunciation. This is for the teaching topics. What are the teacher behaviors? Learner-centered, digitally enabled, reflective, and shared practitioner. So let's start with what are the teaching topics. These are specific areas of pedagogic knowledge and practice that are key to good teaching and learning. They have been selected based on the needs and wish of teachers and are included to help the teachers plan, prepare, and deliver excellent classes. And so they are intended to be practical in nature. So let's start with the second aim or key development for teacher. What are the teaching behaviors? These are characteristics of excellent teachers. So some traits should the teacher be obtained to be an excellent teacher. The program is designed to address these behaviors in an integrated manner. So integrated, we join it together to get the benefit from them. Teachers will progress through a learning cycle that embeds the development of these 4 behaviors through engagement of reflection and extension activities. We will have a lot of activities which enrich our teaching progress and teaching process. Active participation is a key characteristic of this training, so you should participate to get benefit from this training. And the participants will be expected to work in pairs and groups. So I will divide you into pairs or divide into groups through Zoom rooms and have some kind of discussion in a limited time, almost 5 minutes, to discuss some issues together and to explain the points of view of each of you, to actively discuss and share ideas from their own experience throughout the course. Right, we have showed you the, the plan we will use in this course. First, workshop 1 is related to today. Understanding the first part is understanding the first 21st century skills, and the second part will be understanding classroom language. We'll have Google Classroom tasks. So I will give you a hint about how to make a kind of Google Classroom account from the very beginning. Let's start. We'll open our browser, Google for example. When you open it for the first time, you will find at the top left corner of the screen registration or تسجيل الدخول. You will press it to register your email account, your Gmail account on Google. Here you will write down your Gmail, and then you will be asked to write down the password of your email. After that, it will give you, right, this is the password. It will give you a message on your phone. It will ask you to write down the number he sent to you on the next screen. After that, you have already registered your account like this. This is my account. We have finished the first step of registration, which is to register your Gmail account on Google Chrome. After that, you go to Google Chrome, and in the search slot you write down Google Classroom. You will find google.classroom.com, this link. You can open it, or you can open it from the top right window here. When you press it and navigate through it, you will find the same icon of Google Classroom. So you can press this icon or simply press this link, Google Classroom. The first time he will ask you to write down your Gmail and password, and then you will open this window. Here is, I have got 3 classes. We have already created this class yesterday, but I will give you a hint about it today. You will find a plus icon on the top right corner. Press it and you will find 2 options. Join a class if you want to join a class like NTTP Omrania, or create a class. In this case, we will create a class to show you how to create a class for your students. Here is a kind of agreement. You put a tick here and say continue or press continue. Right, he will ask you the name of the class you would like to open. Here we will write down NTTP Omrania e-tags 2, for example. Section, here you could write down some information, but it's not obligatory. For example, English. Here you can write down some more information like your name. and the number of the room any number. Now we have write down the name of the class and some explanation of it or description, and we will press the icon create. It takes some time, so don't worry. Now you have already created your class for your students. Here is two main points. The first point, the main menus on the top middle of the screen. As a teacher, you will find four top menus. Stream, it's like Facebook. You can write down here some hints for your students. They could reply to your hints and give you a posts and reply and answer for each other and so on. Like I will write down something here. Hello everyone, and I will post it. Here is everyone can write down something in reply for me. Again, here is something else. Hello. This is your first task. Please answer the main book on page 23 and 25. And that was our task for the first e-tag. I can add I can add a file from Google Drive, add a link if I want. For example, the record of this session, I can add the record of this session after I have uploaded to the YouTube, or a file. Or I can add a file from YouTube or a video from YouTube. Here is I will add a file, upload from your computer, browse, show me my computer. I can add this picture of our teachers. Yes, so we have got the picture here and I can post it. So those are two examples of the first menu, which is stream. I give them a kind of welcome and I can ask them some questions and wait for their answers. I can give them some videos, some files, some tasks, and so on. This is the first menu. Here, the upcoming tasks, I can write it down here. So when the participants or the student open his Google Classroom, he will find here the tasks are wanted from him. The second point is here, I can press here class code, right? To show you the link of this class and to give to my students. Here is copy invite link. I can press it. Now link it copied as you can see. You can put it in your WhatsApp group or Face group or whatever you want for your students. When they press on it, they join the class. They will press the invitation and after that it will ask them to join the class. If they answered or agreed join the class, so they will be number of this class. This is very simple. So when you open people, you will find the people who got to your class through the invitation you have already sent to them through WhatsApp or something like this. This is view. The second menu is Classwork. This is for you to create your tasks for your students. Here he said to you, create assignments and questions, use topic to organize classroom or classwork into modules or units, order work the way you want student to see. After I have delivered a lot of tasks, I can arrange them into topics to be easy to access from your students. The main thing here is the plus icon on the top left side of the screen. When you press it, you will find some topics like assignment. You can make a kind of assignment. You can make quizzes. You can make questions, materials, and reuse some posts. Right here, we will start with assignment. So, what is the title? Tag 1 questions. For example, instruction: I want you to make the activities on the PowerPoint presentation. I have already given you two activities in the PowerPoint presentation. You will see previously in this record, and I want you to answer or do these activities. And you can add files, links, and Google Drives as you have already seen before, right? After that, I press assign. So I have assigned the first task for my students. You can do like this in your class. Here is class drive folder. If you uploaded some drives on your drive for your student to benefit from, they can download, see and download them from here. Let's go back to Google Drive, and here is the stream classwork people. People is for the people participating in this class. And the last thing, as a teacher, you can find the grades. But if you logged on Google Classroom as a student, you won't find the grades because it's related to the tasks the student answered and the marks you give to them, right? This is for Google Classroom. Here is the class which we have already created now, and this is our main class which we had already created through the Zoom sessions. I have got stream. This is the questions, and this is your reaction to this. We created it on October 22nd, and there Intisar Sayed Siddiq replied, "Hello, Mister." And here is the PowerPoint presentation, and our PowerPoint presentation for our first tag. And here is the two tasks I want you to answer. Here is the first assignment I want you to answer. If you press it, you will find what's needed. Here is the number of students or the people in this class. We have got Minna Sam, حازم كراس حازم إيمان خطاب أمل عثمان سمر Ragab. And this is me. For example, I tried to log in through the mobile with another account to see how I can do it as a student. Noha Rufi, Intisar Sayed, Ahmed Samir, Mahmoud Samir, Yasmin Tunis. Right, these are the number of participants in our group. And here is the classwork which I have already delivered to you, the first tag, and you can download this. When you press on it, you will find the questions which I have already asked you to answer. Here is activity number 1. I want you to answer about it. And here is activity number 2. Right? We have already explained all this in the session. Okay, you can answer it, download it, and reopen it, uploaded to be seen by the teacher and to take the mark. Right? Here is people, as we said, number of students up till now 11 students. Grades. This is the first task I want you to answer. It's out of 10. There is no due date because it's open. For now, you can make a due date for your students. And here is a mark if you marked it and give the students a mark. For example, I will give Minnatullah Hassan 100 over 100. Right? So this is the first mark because she answered all the question and so on. You can give the student when you review the tasks the mark you want and give them a kind of feedback according to the rubric you agreed with them. This is the first and very important part because all our work will depend on Google Classroom. Let's return back to our presentation and see what is the next part. So we divided our session into three parts. The first part is about 21st century skills understanding, and the second part will be understanding classroom language. The third part will be about Google Classroom, and I think we have covered the third part firstly because it's very important and all our work will depend on it. These are the workshops. Now, what are the learning outcomes of our session? First, to state what 21st century skills are. Second, to recognize why they are important for learners. Third, define deep learning. For example, I will give you a kind of index by the end of this presentation in which there are a lot of definitions related to the new vocab or new definitions which you will use during the session and throughout the whole year. After that, learn about Google Classroom. I have already covered it. 5 or fifth, define how lessons are started and finished. Finally, develop ways of promoting language at class. Let's start. What about the 21st century skills? This module provides a basic overview of 21st century skills and aims to introduce you to the 6 core skills. So I have got 6 core skills which are written down here. They are all very important that have been identified by the British Council as essential to enabling you young people to take on the challenges of today's globally interconnected world. You will consider what these skills are and why they are an important part of the teaching and learning process in the classroom. You will begin to explore some practical teaching approaches and activities that will help you to introduce these skills into your teaching. Sorry. This module covers professional practices. How to promote 21st skills, developing an awareness of and a proficiency in. What are the 6 core skills? The first one is critical thinking and problem solving. They are very important to deal with the new curriculums and how to use innovative ideas to solve the problems related to this, mostly concerning the new vocab and how long and difficult they are, how you make it easy for students to understand and to use easily. This is problem solving. I am sure that you are creative to solve this problem. Second, collaborative and communication. You so desperate these good ideas between your students and use it as a main thing to obtain your goal from teaching your subject. Creativity and imagination. Try to build on what the students have already learned and to evoke their imagination and creativity to learning. Fourth, citizenship. It's a demand for our national country. Fifth, digital literacy. It's very important. Now, what you are doing now is a kind of using technology to make a kind of literacy. And this is very important because this is the future of learning and teaching all over the world. So try to benefit from these sessions and other things using technology in teaching and so on. Last, student leadership and personal development. As we say for our teachers, continuous development is very important for you and for your students. After we have already discussed this issues together in this session, we have taken a new task. This is our first task, as you have already seen, and I gave you some hints about how to answer it through our session. This is your task, and I will receive the answer next God willing. As for the second part of the session or training, understanding classroom language, what are the outcomes of this part? Learning outcomes. The aim of this module is to provide effective strategies to start and finish lesson. How to start your lesson and how to finish it with simple and easy language using the classroom language, like the starting point or breaking the ice with your students with some agreed rules or forms, like stand up, sit down, raise your hand, good morning, how are you, what's your name, and so on. These are a kind of starting the classroom with a warmly way, and is agreed with your students to do, and try to make your students use this simple and easy, because we are teaching a young learner, so you can give them the chance to use the language in a simple way. When they get used to use some simple words like this, they will get used to using the language and be very pleased that they can use their new language as their master. The module identifies elements that make up the start of a lesson, and considers how to develop and promote social language in class. This module covers a professional practice. I gave you these questions and we have already discussed it during the session. Do you think it is important to have a conversation with your learners at the beginning and at the end of your lesson? And you said, yes, it's very obligatory. Yes, we agree to this. And when I asked you why, you said that it's very important to make a kind of intimacy with our students and make them comfort with using the language and not to fear of using their tongues. Number two, do you usually use Arabic or English while speaking with your learners? You said that sometimes when I fail to explain some words or to give examples in English and to simplify it, I can give them the meaning in Arabic because they are young learners and they can't understand all the miming or gestures or using realia I want to deliver the meaning with. So it's okay for this young age students to use some words in Arabic, but it's not the main thing to use it. Alright? The next question was, do you think that it's important to use English with your learners? You said yes. When I asked you why, you said to get use of the language. After that, I asked if you tried to speak English with your learners, but they couldn't understand you, what would you do? Some of you said I would change the technique or the style, I would change how I deliver the information to them. I would go to another topic and return back in another time if I failed to give them the information I want to teach them. Last thing, have you ever thought of what topics your learners usually like to talk about? And if you want to find out, what will you do? Right? Before boys, you said that they are interested in talking about football, especially Muhammad Salah, and almost of the attendance of the participants agreed of that, and said even girls wanted to talk about Muhammad Salah. But when I asked what about the girls, some of you said that they want to talk about Barbie and the dolls and so on. That was the answers for discussion. I'm sorry to sum the answers up because we don't have the part of the discussion with us, so I had to repeat what you have already said in this part. That was the second task related to the second part, and I have already showed you the task on Google Classroom, and I want you to answer it and upload the answer on our class. Last, your task for the next time is to answer question on page 23 and 25, as I have mentioned before. This is the appendix of the definition I have already spoken about. I wish you will benefit from it. Thanks for watching and see you next time on the next e-tag, and goodbye.